Well, that's it. There goes our ride. We are officially on our own for the next 4 nights and 5 days as we hike along the East Coast Trail.
Hey everyone, if you have been following along, you will know that we are on a 1-month adventure, camping and exploring some wild places across Canada.
Over the past 14 days, we have driven over 3,200 kilometers from Ontario to Newfoundland. Once there, we made our way all the way across the province to the small town of Bay Bulls, where we would begin our journey backpacking along the East Coast Trail.
Well, it's been an exciting morning so far. We've driven about 3 hours. We had to make one quick pit stop along the way. My key fob for the car battery was getting low. I was getting an alarm in the car. So we're hoping to hike for the next 5 days, and I didn't want to get back to my car and have any issues. We have now just stopped a few minutes away from our destination, where we're going to meet some friends who are going to shuttle us to the start of our trail. We stopped here because we've been looking at the weather, and from what we've experienced over the last 2 weeks on how unpredictable the weather is, we want to make sure we're absolutely prepared. So we're going to be adding a tarp and some extra thermal clothes in case we get damp. We want to be able to make sure that we are absolutely toasty warm while we're relaxing in our tent in the evenings. So we're just going to do some juggling here and then jump back down the road, meet up with some friends, and get on the trail.
We are feeling absolutely pumped. We got all of our gear just lying here on the side of the path, and we're just gonna do a quick once over of the map. There's some great signage at the start of this trail here at Bay Bulls.
Well, and it looks like everything that was on the East Coast Association maps that we ordered. So we should be fairly familiar with it.
Yeah, we picked up the East Coast Trail maps from their website, and which is really great because any money that's generated goes back to helping maintain these trails. There's over 335 kilometers of trails that the East Coast Trail actually maintains and keeps in good order. So looking forward to getting started. We're gonna have a quick bite of lunch and then start making our way down the trail and see how far we can get today. Let's do it. Well, we've only just begun, but I can't believe that we are going to be spending the next 5 days hiking with views like this. Already stunning. Been definitely working the legs so far, and we are out in the hottest part of the day. So we're already sweating pretty good, but damn does it feel good. Just past a pretty cool lighthouse, and just past that is this excellent water source. So we know that after this, just after the lighthouse, the water sources aren't as pristine and beautiful as this. They're a little muddier, so we couldn't pass up the chance to fill up our water bottles, make sure they're completely full until we reach our campsite, which also has another good flowing stream. I think we're getting pretty close to our destination for the night. It's about 5:30 right now. There's supposed to be some tent pads up here. Oh my goodness. The views are insane. There's a sea stack and like a sea cave and a huge waterfall. This is crazy. I really hope the campsite's right here. We are getting pretty much to our limit. I've hiked roughly 11 kilometers. I know it's not super far, but we started pretty late in the afternoon, and you know, there's definitely people out there that are faster than us, but this is our limit. This is what we're comfortable with, and oh my God. This is what I'm looking at. This is crazy. Are you believing this? So tired though. I almost don't want to take a photo, but how can you not? Oh my God. You know you're getting tired when communication starts to die off. There's not much chatter, not much singing going on anymore. Just kind of head down, feet going. And lack of filming. Just been trying to get some kilometers under our feet. This was one of our bigger days in a place very, very far from home. We have traveled many, many kilometers or miles. Probably, I think I checked the car earlier and we were at over 3,000 kilometers so far, plus a ferry ride just to get here to see these kinds of things. Feeling grateful for my body, all the people that we've met and that have helped us out so far along the way. Even earlier, after we got dropped off, given snacks and maps and everything, about an hour or two into our trail, we got talking to a gentleman and we could tell he was checking on us, making sure that we were prepared and we knew what we were doing. And he worked for search and rescue for the trail. So, hey, there's a sightseeing boat right there. So yeah, he was definitely checking on us, making sure we were prepared, had enough gear, knew what we were getting ourselves into. And I'm assuming we don't look like, you know, unprepared hikers, but he was still checking on us. So that was a nice gesture of his. Oh, I just stopped, and this view again. Yeah. This waterfall is probably plunging hundreds of feet down into the ocean. Crazy. I can see why there was a tour boat right here checking this out. How good does that feel?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What? Is that like sawdust or in that?
Oh my God, so sweaty.
I know, I'm so sweaty. Take a load off.
First time taking the pack off in a couple hours. Sweetie, we did it.
We killed it. There we go.
We made it to camp. Sitting on one of the tent pads. There's a whole bunch here. Haven't even explored, just needed to get that pack off. We're gonna assess, find a spot to set up the tent.
Holy.
There's a great river right beside us for water. This looks like the perfect spot to spend the night. Everything is just working out perfectly. I didn't know what to expect with these tent pads. There is some flat-ish areas that we might be able to set up our tent. Our tent is not a freestanding tent. It is the Durston X-Mid 2, and we're pretty new to it. So we did not know how it would go setting up on a tent pad, and we
lucked out. There's eyelets on all of the platforms, and the Durston just fit perfectly. We could thread the guy line, the corners, through the eyelets in the exact spot that we needed.
This tent pad was designed almost specifically for this tent, it seems like.
Yeah.
We didn't even have to add any extra ropes. We just have some big rocks here holding out our vestibules.
But other than that, we're going to sleep level tonight with no little divots or anything, which is a welcome treat. This is the first established site that we've seen. We covered 11.1 kilometers today, and looking at there was a really awesome website that we found, or a Facebook page,
Yeah.
that he had a wicked Excel file with all of the information on. We just friggin' lucked out.
We have our own little like deck space here in front of the tent now that we're able to just spread out all of our gear. Like, this is perfect. We're not going to want to leave. There's like waterfalls plummeting hundreds of feet into the ocean right near us. Like, the views are fantastic. Everything about today worked out. We pushed ourselves harder than we thought we would be able to. But I think it was because of all the positive vibes that we had going into this and all of the people being so friendly and generous and kind.
Yeah, we just had a banger of a day.
I'm blown away. We are dirty. We are sweaty. We definitely worked hard to get here, but it was totally worth it. Like, I got some sweet dirt lines here going on. So now we're gonna start soaking some dinner. We're gonna start making some water.
Get these sweaty clothes off.
We just found a nice tree to hang our food up in. We're not too worried about bears.
It never hurts to be safe, and it's what we're used to. So we're just gonna keep doing it, and
there is a
rock
lot,
it that way.
Unfortunately, there is a lot of garbage in and around these tent pads. Everything from sleeping bags to tarps, shoes.
Propane.
So we just want to be safe with all of our stuff and make sure it's away from us. Hopefully there's nothing really under this tent pad, but there is a lot of garbage kind of shoved in underneath of them. I am super happy. I'm super happy to have my shoes off and this backpack
mine
off.
aren't off yet.
So let's do that.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the morning of day 2. After a delicious chili dinner and a solid day of hiking yesterday, we promptly fell asleep in good time, in hopes of getting up early today.
Jess and I are just getting our gear all packed up. We've had a bit of a lazy morning this morning. 7:45. Rain started at 3 or 4 a.m. Weren't really expecting it that early today. So we just kind of took our time this morning, been relaxing in the tent and going over all the maps. So we're just trying to figure out, there's not a lot of designated campsites along this trail, unfortunately. There's quite a few that are undesignated, maybe not well marked or not very good. We do have an Excel sheet that someone has created, and it lists out all the campsites and it gives them a rating out of 6. 6 being the best site, which is a designated site.
He referred to them as Through Hikers Hilton.
So we are on a 6 right now with the tent pads. What we figured out the best option, because today's kind of a rainy day and we're on the most strenuous portion of the path, we're just gonna do a 7-kilometer day to the next designated campsite. One thing along the route that we're pretty pumped about is the actual spout, which is the highlight of this trail. It's called the Spout Path, and it is like a natural geyser where the waves come in and shoot up through this little hole in the rock. But first, continuing to get packed up, and a nice hot oatmeal, hot chocolate or tea this morning?
Chocolate.
Some oatmeal and some hot chocolate.
We have white salted caramel hot chocolate and cookies and cream hot chocolate.
Just a little treat on this rainy Saturday morning. We might not ever leave.
We might not.
We shall call her Lumpy.
Full?
Right.
Yeah?
Yep.
I'm coming out.
Yep. Welcome to the outside.
I want the world to know. I'm gonna let it show.
Oh well. This is a cool natural rock formation that allows the ocean waves, and the rain is actually helping us today. The rain is draining into the hole, making the spout even higher and bigger. They say in the spring and the fall, it's the best time to see it. Even though we're here in mid-August, I'd say this is pretty cool. So if it gets even better than this, and as you can tell, it goes off quite regularly. It's got this crazy roaring sound to it before it goes off.
It sounds like a truck's revving its engine. We're not getting any closer.
And it's pretty loud. We're just a few hundred meters from our campsite. It's just misting on us a little bit, you can tell. We're in full rain gear at the moment.
Good grief.
This would be an excellent spot to stop and have some lunch. Just such a cool, unique thing along the trail here.
Wow, that's power.
Yeah.
But proceed with caution. It's very slippery today because it's raining. I think it'd be slippery regardless of the season.
These rocks here around the spout, I don't know if they have a bit of algae on them or something. When they are damp, they are extremely slippery today. We're pretty much just crawling around just to get down here.
Yeah, so please, if you come out here, proceed with caution.
But definitely highly recommend coming out here. It is a bit of a trek to get out here,
So cool.
but it is very cool. Pretty crazy, pretty cool. Unfortunately, we can't stay here all day, so we are going to pick our way down the trail. Supposedly from the far coast, way in front of me here, we'll be able to see this from almost a kilometer away. So it would be neat coming the other direction to be able to watch it and see it well in advance. For us coming south to north, it was kind of a surprise. You just kind of came around the corner and all of a sudden, whoo, big waves shoots up out of nowhere. But there's a great river here to fill up with water, fresh water, if you need oh, really nice waterfall too. So yeah, if you need water, it's another great spot to fill up along with the campsite that was just a couple hundred meters away. Lots of cheese! Want your kids to leave home? Stop serving with cheese!
Keep it breezy.
So we've made it to Long Point, which looks like it's only about 2.5 kilometers from our campsite this morning, and it's taken us approximately 2 hours to get here. So really slow going, because it's so slippery and wet. Gorgeous point here. We've been pretty much in the bush, just soaked.
It's overgrown, and it's a little claustrophobic, and it's a bit of a slog. It's beautiful, but yeah, I'm happy to be out in some open area.
100%. Yeah, The trail is almost hard to see because it's grown in from either side, so you're just hoping that there's trail underneath your feet as you're pushing through the blueberry patches and pine trees and stuff like that.
I mean, it's nice that it's blueberries, but you can't eat all of them because you're trying to get some kilometers underneath your feet.
Yeah, we've been just drive-by blueberry picking. We'll just walk, and there's so many out here, you can just pick them and eat them as you're walking along. So we haven't really eaten many of the granola bars that we brought, so we're carrying some extra weight than we thought because we've just been eating so many blueberries. But the rain has held off. We are enjoying a nice breezy lunch spot with a view and some seagulls.
Again. Shrubs are back. Tell a friend.
This is the trail somewhere. We thought we were out of this stuff for the day. This is what we walked through all morning. That really kept us slow because we couldn't see where we were placing our feet. Currently, the foot placement is a lot nicer than this morning. There was a lot more rocks and roots hidden underneath these bushes. Right now it's pretty smooth going underneath, but you never know, so just trying to be smooth and careful. Whoa, it really drops off here on the right. You gotta kind of stay in the bush.
Oh boy.
On the plus side, there's some nice pink flowers every now and then. This is more like it. This is what we were hoping to be hiking on the East Coast Trail. We haven't been so lucky thus far. It's been a lot of inland with some cool lookouts, which are pretty special. But this open area is what Jess and I were really looking forward to being able to hike. It just really boosts your spirit, makes you feel better. You're not so kind of claustrophobic in the forest. That's a little bit better. We only have a few hundred meters to get to our campsite for the night, so it's making us feel good getting there. Last little stretch out in the open.
Wow, this is amazing. We have reached our destination for today. We are at Miners Point on the ECT.
We got a pretty phenomenal view over here.
Wow.
I know it was a shorter day of only 7K, but it was a bit of a slog to get here. And the next campsites are not rated very highly. So we are gonna stay here, which is an actual designated ECT campsite. There's not many of them along the way. The next one isn't for like 30 or 40 kilometers. So yeah, we'll be staying at some subpar campsites going forward. But yeah, this is great.
This is great. Let's get these boots off.
Yeah, let's get some sandals on. Let's get our tent up.
Well, camp is all set up for the night. After a strenuous morning, everything has turned out just perfect. At around lunchtime, our morale was pretty near the bottom. We'd had a very slow go. Everything was wet, everything was damp.
but now there's a seal. Hang on.
So I just came down to look at the shore a little bit, and I saw just something kind of moving in the water. These waves are so deceiving. It's like every wave you think is a whale. You get really excited. But I saw this head kind of bopping around, and then I saw his head go up, and then his back come in an arch. So I think I just saw a seal, which is pretty cool.
So just got distracted, just saw a seal, just saw the back of it. We don't have the best view of the ocean from our campsite. We still have a decent view, but it's quite a ways away. We've been hoping to see a whale, so we have our eyes out right now. We got to site in good time and able to get set up, and it's a beautiful site here. Looks like about two camp spots here, and not as much garbage as the last one, so that's really nice. So we got set up. Shortly after we got here, another group showed up, and they've taken the higher spot, and there's actually a nice bathroom facility here as well, just like our last campsite. And then shortly after that, another guy showed up looking to camp here as well, but he kept going in hopes of finding another site farther down. We could have probably accommodated, but he had a dog. There's also another dog here, so he decided to keep going. But it looks like we're going to have a really great sunset if we're still here for that. We're hoping to get up and get moving in good time, because the dream is to do about 16 kilometers tomorrow, and if it's anything like it was today, we could be in for a slog. So we have an out if we can't make it to 16, but hopefully we don't have to look at that option. For now, Jess has made some chili for dinner, so we're going to sit down and enjoy a nice chili dinner along with some goldfish crackers to go in.
Just spotted another sea lion. Maybe it's the same one, but he must be feeding in this little cove, and his mouth is just popping up and filling up.
We just finished dinner and came down to the stream that's near our campsite to fill up with water. Thought we'd spend a few minutes and just sit here and enjoy the view and have our fingers crossed in hopes that we see, either a whale or a sea lion. So looks like there's one just kind of popping up, very small glimpses of them, but pretty neat nonetheless. We did have a bald eagle or two fly over us today, and saw a mouse as well. That's the highlight of today's wildlife.
We are just preparing for the night, and we're going to get our food bag up a tree. Can't leave the M&Ms out.
Well, that concludes all of our camp chores for the night. Food is safely put away. We're just gonna take our shoes off, climb into the bed, do a little journaling before we go to sleep tonight, and set the alarm so we can get up nice and early and hopefully do that 16-kilometer day that we have planned. Fingers crossed for some good weather. Well, the rains have appeared once again, so it forced us into the tent even earlier than we were planning, but that's okay.
Good night.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Talking a little quieter as we have some other campers not too far away from us. We're hoping to make it at least 10 kilometers today. That would take us into Petty Harbor, which is a little village. Hopefully maybe we can get there by lunch, but it is raining already this morning. There's a pretty heavy fog and mist out there, so it's going to make going a little bit slower as everything's going to be slipperier and stuff. But last night I had a great sleep, went to bed in good time because again the rains came early. We have these Gear Doctor inflatable air mattresses. They're a little bit crinkly, but they blow up to be about 3 inches thick, and they are super comfy, and we did not slide off them at all last night. I was kind of worried that we were both going to just slide down into the end of the tent. And they also fold up super small, so in comparison to our previous self-inflating air mattresses, they would stand like about this tall. They were so much bigger. These weigh around 1 pound, and they blow up thicker. The only downside is you have to actually blow them up. So there's a little bag that helps to inflate them a little faster instead of blowing straight from your mouth. But it still is a bit of a process to inflate them, but totally worth it. So next step, I think we're gonna have breakfast in the tent again because of the fog and mist that's cover everything and do.
Well, it's another rainy morning on the ECT.
We're all packed down. It is 7:40. Gonna get an earlier start to the day, but it is foggy and the rains kind of come and go. So we're just gonna take our time again. 10K minimum. That's what we have to do to get out of here safely if we want. If not, we can add another 6K and try and find a campsite for the night.
It really depends on the weather and what she's going to give us today.
And the morale. This is our vacation, so we want to be happy and healthy and have a good time. So
yep. Take our time. Go from there.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for a little bit of sun. I don't know if we've seen a sunrise.
Nope.
I don't think we've seen a sunrise the entire time we've been in Newfoundland, so we were really hoping for one this morning, but we'll try again tomorrow. We are just making our way down the trail. Well, as much as we can see of it anyway.
Yeah, we can see our feet a little bit. That's about it on this trail. She's foggy. She's been raining off and on. We're only an hour in, and she doesn't look like she's lightening up anytime soon.
But our spirits are still high. The trail has been much easier than yesterday morning, so feeling pretty good about that. And hopefully we'll be able to continue seeing as much as we can see.
Yep.
So there is a big cliff here. There's a trail marker there, and I can just barely make out another trail marker, and it looks like we're winding our way down and climbing up a rock face from here. As Jess and I make our way across these foggy, misty, open areas, every once in a while you'll come across this huge boulder or erratic that just seems so precariously placed. Some of them are just like balancing, and it looks like you could almost push them right over. We've been joking just to try and keep morale up that it looked like giants had maybe tossed them there way back in ancient times. But they're pretty neat to see. And here comes more rain once again. Got the hood up. Got lots of little prints down here too as we're going. I don't know who they are. Well, we didn't even realize, but we've been walking beside this cliff edge, and it just looks like it's like 100 feet down to the ocean. Whew. We've been walking alongside that for quite a while. There was just a big gorge, but you couldn't even see to the bottom of it. This is pretty neat. Just stopped for a quick water break, although really in reality I could just probably do that and get enough water in. Well, it hasn't cleared up completely, but cleared up enough just to stop for some lunch. Found this beautiful freshwater river to fill up our water jugs and a nice rock right by it to sit and enjoy some lunch. And as we've been doing that, behind me, right where the river meets the ocean, there's been a seal popping up. So that's a seal every day for the last 3 days, twice right around where the river meets the ocean.
Welcome to Petty Harbor.
We have just completed Motion Path, just about to enter into a small little village.
And we have completed 30.7 kilometers so far.
Looking to get through town, nice easy walking along some roads, and then we have potentially another 6 kilometers to go, or we can call it right here. We're not really sure what we're out for, so we're gonna get down into town and contemplate life. Well, I think we've decided what we're gonna do. We walked into the very pretty town of Petty Harbor, chilled at a picnic table, thought it over. It started to rain again on us as we were sitting there. We just finished taking off our soaking wet rain gear.
But we're gonna friggin' do it. We're gonna keep going today for another 3 kilometers.
So we walked the 2K all the way through town, and we have about 3 more kilometers till there's potentially a campsite for us. We have our fingers crossed. Tomorrow looks absolutely gorgeous on the Weather Network. We finally got a signal again here in Petty Harbor.
Yeah, it's funny when you get to town, it's like your phone just starts going ding, 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 ding. Woo.
So we were just coming up to the Cape Spear Path. And yeah, we're looking forward to finding a campsite for the night and getting these packs off. But man, oh man,
She's a beaut.
Petty Harbor was gorgeous. Sad that we had to leave.
Look at it now with the sun.
And sad that it's kind of fogged in and rainy. But it would have been great to see. Definitely, like everywhere else we've been, we're gonna have to come back again. Step. Rocks.
Tonight we have an Alpine Air, and it's a grilled chicken pad thai. It smells wonderful, so I'm excited to eat it.
Got our little home sweet home for the night. It is not a designated campsite. Feel a little bad for that, but it has been marked. It clearly has been used before. There is a fire pit up there, even though you're not supposed to have campfires on the East Coast Trail. There is a water source, but you have to climb a bit of a mountain. It is kind of like the pig portage in Killarney Provincial Park. If you've ever done that in Ontario, you'll understand what I mean. It's kind of like the pig on steroids. Also very similar to the hike up to the crack in Killarney Provincial Park as well. Once again, it has been raining off and on. We thought we were in the clear once we got to, around lunchtime today. We made it all the way into Petty Harbor, which was a gorgeous little village, and we were able to walk all the way through that with the sun out and everything. It was great. And then as soon as we started down the Cape Spear Path, the rain started, so we suited back up in our rain gear and we walked into this forest that we're in now. We only had to walk in about 1.5 kilometers, which completed 16 kilometers for us today, which we felt pretty good about considering the toughness of the terrain here. The beginning part or the end part, depending on which direction you're going on the Cape Spear Path, is quite challenging. It only has a moderate trail rating, so kind of a medium trail rating, but this section, the first 2 kilometers or the last 2 kilometers of it are pretty tough. They are pretty technical. You're hopping over boulders, and with the amount of rain that we've been having over the last couple of days, there's rivers running down all of the trailways. So we are just going to, everything is damp, it's misty out, but we are going to cuddle up in the tent and enjoy a delicious dinner in the tent. So kind of like breakfast in bed, but dinner in bed, and then call it a night. Get up super early tomorrow. We're going to see if we can pound out 20 kilometers tomorrow to our next campsite. We'll see what the weather brings us.
Mind if I join you?
Climb right on in.
How's that dinner smell, baby?
I think it's gonna be delish. Delicious.
Alrighty. I can definitely tell you we've been appreciating the headroom in this Durston X-Mid 2 tent that we have. Haven't used it that many times yet, but so far it has been pretty fantastic.
It's just really, the design's very spacious. Definitely not claustrophobic by any means, and we've nailed how to set it up now, so we're flying every time we set it up.
It definitely is a little unique to set up in comparison to a freestanding tent. This one does not stand up on its own. It requires our hiking poles to stand up. There are no extra poles included, but there is a bit of skill and a bit of trick to get it set up.
But once you figure it out, you're like, oh, that's simple.
So yeah, definitely saves a lot of weight in our pack and a lot of size. It's a highly rated tent and currently difficult to get.
Well, it looks like we have a problem. We are surrounded by mice.
Hi. They're literally coming out of everywhere. We can feel them like burrowing underneath the tent. We were just gonna leave our food outside tonight. We've been seeing everyone else do that, and there's no real bears or anything out here. We've been hanging it every night previously, but we were just gonna leave it on top of our packs outside the tent, like I've read a number of other people have done. But I think we've set up on a mouse house or something. You can just hear them squeaking off in the bushes and see the little leaves moving as they're running around. So I think we're gonna resort to hanging the food tonight. So that wasn't our original plan. Just finished dinner. We were looking forward to kind of packing it in, doing some journaling.
But that'll wait. We'll get our food bag up a tree and keep that secure, so hopefully we don't disturb them as much as possible.
All right, let's do it.
Do it. Hey everyone, it is the morning of day 4 and we have blue skies overhead for the first time and we're so excited to see it. We are eating breakfast, packing down. We've got a challenging first kilometer. We're basically going up boulders for a kilometer. So we're going to have a banger start of the day, and then it should be smooth sailing after that, and hopefully we get to our first destination, which is 13K away, and then we'll see how much farther we can get after that.
All right, my least favorite part. I got a brand new pair of socks. We're hoping to put some distance under our feet today, but I got a soaking wet pair of boots.
All packed up for the day. We believe, especially on these undesignated campsites, to leave no trace. So the only thing we're leaving behind is the dry square where our tent used to be. But other than that, hopefully no one knows we were ever even here. We don't believe in leaving anything behind, even if we think it might benefit somebody else in the future. Any garbage that we have, we are packing it out with us and carrying it out down the rest of the trail. So I think
The sun is out and we are ready to start the day.
let's go. These views definitely wouldn't be as sweet without that inclement weather that we went through earlier. As much as we don't like it at the time, we have to appreciate the fact that it makes everything so much better in the long run. Ooh, mud.
Yep.
Gotta appreciate the mud too.
Getting us places.
During the tough times of the hike, when you're not making much progress and you're just kind of slowly trotting along, staring at your feet, not even having a chance to look up, Jess and I like to go through what we're appreciative for. So simple little things like the way a tree looks, or the smells of the forest, or even just how cool that little slug is that we see as we step over. That helps us get through the tough times until we can get out to the gorgeous views. Just like this one.
Well, it has been a couple of days since we have seen the ocean. We've got sun on our faces and we could not be feeling better this morning. Let's get that 20K today.
She is gonna be a hot one today and we are looking forward to it.
Wow.
Say it again, baby.
Wow.
I don't think the smiles on our faces could be much bigger to this morning. Beautiful boardwalks, smooth sailing to Cape Spear.
I see it. Come on, let's go.
It's as far east as you can go in Canada without going for a swim. What do you think?
Pretty cool. A little breezy. It's awesome. It's really breezy. There's a lot of people here. We're here on a Monday as well, so I wasn't expecting to see as many people, but parking lot is packed.
Well, we just visited Cape Spear, the most easterly point in Canada. So pretty cool destination to get there. We were just stopping for a bite to lunch and just outside in one of the parking lots before we continue making our way down the trail. The 26-degree weather though, it's not here yet. There's some dark clouds moving in as well. It was calling for sun all day last time we checked, so hopefully we get the typical Newfoundland weather where you just wait 5 minutes and the weather will be different. So that's what we're gonna do. Over there.
We hiked from Cape Spear and we are heading all the way over to Blackhead. We've completed another section of the East Coast Trail. Cape Spear, see you next time.
From our lunch spot, we hiked up a monster hill that gave us an awesome viewpoint of the Cape Spear area and where we're about to walk into now, the town of Blackhead. We also got to walk through this crazy cute little forest with tons of moss.
It's just very like almost cinematic with its moss and tree roots, and it's just wild. It was a really neat section of forest.
So Jess and I could have used this small town of Blackhead as an exit if we wanted to. but it's only 5 more K to Freshwater Bay, where there's supposed to be a fantastic campsite. So that is our destination. 5 kilometers to go, and that's the plan. The sun is out. We have smiles on our faces. Our feet are getting a little sore. It's been 15 kilometers so far, but hey, what's another 5K, eh?
No problem.
It's so hard to just stop and give up these views. We're just gonna keep going.
We're just gonna chow down a fruit source, wild berry carrot fruit bar. Keep our, vitamins and minerals up.
Where are we?
We're at Peggy's Leg.
Whatever the heck that means. Oh my God, this is trippy. Well, just walked out to a pretty scenic lookout, that's for sure. Woo-wee! Damn. It is a long way down on both sides of me. It's like the tiniest little bird flying down there. It looks like an ant. And if you can see that white dot out here, that's a seagull. Jess and I were just saying, we're out on this lookout point. Right where Jess is standing looks like a pretty darn good tent pad. Except we're out of water and we need to find a camp spot with some water. So we're gonna continue on down the trail a little bit farther. Can you imagine waking up to that on one side and that on the other?
Let's move in. Beautiful. Love it. Hate to leave.
If you look way over here, there's some red buildings. That's the town of Blackhead. We came from there a couple hours ago. Jess and I are just making our final descent into Freshwater Bay, where we hope to be camping for the night. We are hopeful there's a source of water here, because we are thirsty, and we're looking forward to crossing this bridge that the East Coast Trail Association put in 1999, and they've been constantly having to work on as the ocean washes it out. Hey, there's a seal or an otter right there. There's a seal looking at you. Well, we made it to camp and we're all set up for the night. It's been a little breezy. We did find some water. It is a ways away. It's on the other side of the bay, but hopefully we don't need any more. It is calling for a lot of rain tonight and all the way into tomorrow. So we are just gonna hike a 2K short hike back to the road instead of 5K up and over a mountain to Fort Amherst. So we have a bit of a camp explosion going on. Jess is just getting set up in the tent. She's blowing up the air mattresses and getting our sleeping bags all prepped for the night. And I'm out here just eating M&Ms.
Our day started out just outside of Petty Harbor on the Cape Spear Path, and we have ended 20 kilometers away in Freshwater Bay on the Dead Man's Bay Path. We're feeling really accomplished. 20K is the longest hike that we've done in the backcountry to date. So Alex and I are feeling pretty grateful to accomplish that. And we were just working on getting settled in our Durston tent because there is impending rain on our last night on the East Coast Trail. For dinner tonight, we have an OTG meal. It is the coconut curry chicken. We have been saving this for a very special occasion, and we brought it all the way from Ontario to enjoy here in Newfoundland. So, pretty excited to try it. Wow, she's cool. Whoa. It smells really good. It just looks packed with flavor. I'm really excited to try this. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
I like the whole chunks of stuff.
Yeah. Nothing crunchy in there at all. All right. What do you think?
10 out of 10. This is friggin' delicious. I keep saying friggin'. Start again. OTG meals. You did coconut curry chicken. Delicious. It's jam-packed with flavor. And just to see the whole chunks of broccoli and pepper and chicken, 10 out of 10.
Well, that concludes our night. We enjoyed a delicious dinner, oceanside, and it also concludes our time here on the ECT. Tomorrow we just have a short 2K walk out to the parking lot where we hope to catch a ride back to our car, but the adventure still continues. We still have a few more days left here on the island that we're looking very, very much forward to. So for tonight, I think I'm calling it. Think we'll need sunscreen today?
I don't think so, sweetie. I wish we did.
Well, we planned enough food to do breakfast and another lunch today because we were thinking we had just about another 6 kilometers to hike to Fort Amherst
which was going to be our goal for this trip, was to hike from Bay Bulls to Fort Amherst. Although with these rainy conditions yet again, there is a shorter way out. It's just a 2.5 kilometer hike from where we're sitting exactly right now to hike back to a parking lot where we are hoping to get picked up and taken back to our car, which is in St. John's. So we've decided to have some s'mores, hot chocolates under the tent, and we're just gonna have a couple granola bars instead of eating and going through the whole process of having oatmeal this morning. And we are just having a gear explosion inside of our tiny little tent to try and organize and get everything jammed into our packs before we go outside the tent and pack down this rainy, wet tent. But we are very much looking forward to having some showers later this afternoon and sleeping in a real bed with some real pillows. My socks also got completely slimed by slugs last night, which is always a nice treat in the morning. I'm so glad I had to put those on. And every morning when I wake up, I find potato bugs in the tent somehow. So we've only been out here 4 days, but I feel like we've been out here a month. The sounds of the seagulls will never get old. I like that.
Me too.
I kind of like the loons back home in Ontario, obviously waking up to them. The seagulls just add a nice little treat.
Yeah.
One cool benefit about eating so many meals in the tent is the tent smells fantastic. The whole tent just has this nice hot chocolate aroma going on right now, along with feet.
Well, and eating in our tent, honestly, isn't something we've ever done. Like, living in Ontario, we have to hang our food. We eat away from our camp. So this is quite a different experience for us. This isn't the norm for us by any means.
But very grateful that I don't have to, like, go running across to a tarp or something.
Oh, for sure. Like, we have not seen any scat in days.
Yeah.
Like, there hasn't been anything along this trail. There has definitely been a lot of slugs.
And mice.
And mice at the last campsite. So we've still put our food up in those sites. But this is the first night that we had our food bag next to the tent while we slept. Very odd experience. But there was no sign of any mice at this campsite. So I was actually really surprised with the long grass that was here. But we're right at the ocean.
We're in no real rush this morning. We're thinking we might just try and wait out the rain, hopefully. Looked like just one dark cloud kind of floating over top of us. Wait a few minutes, chill, everything's pretty much packed and ready to go. We just have to take the tent all down. Just on the last leg of our journey now, 1.6 kilometers until we reach the parking lot where we're gonna get picked up. Bit of a rainy takedown, but not too bad. We got her packed down pretty quickly this morning. Skies are pretty clear, it's nice and bright out. And it looks like we got a nice gravelly pathway. And hopefully the rain holds out just a little bit longer for us to get out of here and climb into a friend's car. We would hate to climb in there soaking wet. But overall, great campsite. Quite busy for a Monday afternoon or evening. There was a couple groups that came through. Solo female, solo male. 2 males came by. A couple, I think we ruined their night for a romantic evening. They had a tent and a bottle of wine. They moved on farther down the trail by the looks of it and then came back later. There was another group of 3 people and 3 dogs. They came and played at the beach we were swimming at and trying to clean up a little while earlier. We're just walking over some
pretty little waterfalls along the trail that might not normally be here. I think they're just here because of all the excess rain. Well, we did it. We made it to the parking lot. It is raining, so we're just huddled up under a pretty dense pine tree at the moment, trying to stay out of the rain. And I'm about to turn my phone on to see if I get enough signal. We told our ride that we'd be here between 10 and 11.
So we've got about an hour to wait right now, so we're just going to message him, let him know where we're at, and we'll go from there.
And now the waiting game begins. I don't have great service out here because we're kind of in the middle of nowhere, but we're both still smiling. We're looking very, very, very much forward to some showers and the rest of our adventure. We still have vacation planned. So we're feeling a little bit bummed that we didn't get to finish the entire Dead Man's Bay path, but we finished on a happy note. As you can tell, it is raining pretty good out at the moment. So if we had finished the last 5.5, 6 kilometers, we would have not been happy campers. So we took the slightly easier route. We went the 2 and a bit kilometer route this morning. Fairly easy incline instead of a climb up a mountain. I think the maps that we have describe it as overgrown if we had gone the other way. So our ride's just pulling into the parking lot. We're looking pretty happy at the moment.
Damp out there, eh? Beautiful country though. Oh my gosh. No way. No. Hello.
Everything is just...
Can it see us?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my mouth. Well, she's a foggy day on the top of the cliff, eh? Sorry. Welcome to Petty Harbor.
Oh, that's a funny accent.
My voice cracked a bit.
It did, yeah.
Going on the trail.
My slug also got... my slug.
Pretty angled.
Whoa. Who's driving this thing?
This is more of a traditional through hike.
Practice?
You never know. You never know what Tents.and.Timber is going to get up to.
We don't even know most times.